Welcome to another Richard Head Longbows video, and welcome back to the wood store. Today just going to be explaining how we would select some yew to make a bow. We're always being contacted by people who are cutting down a yew tree, or they know where one is. Usually it's the other end of the country. We've been on so many wild goose chases. We tell them we want something nice and smooth, no little side branches, no twists. And we get there and it's exactly what we don't want. We've got a piece here. Now, I'm not saying someone can't attempt to make a bow from it, but we wouldn't. Anyone commercially making a bow or almost anything else needs very good quality materials. So they're not spending hours and hours working around problems and flaws. This one looks okay here. Heartwood looks all right, some little drying cracks there, but that would be lost because we'll be cutting way in there. Quite a thick sapwood on it, but we could take some of that down. But when you look at the back, and that's the outside curve of the bow, and it needs to be very good to resist those tension forces, otherwise it will break. We've got these horrible knobbly bits here where the little side branches were. It might clean up, but it's a potential weak spot, and we don't want that. And this piece is full of them, going all the way down. So someone could attempt to make a bow from it. It might work, but for people like ourselves, it's just not worth the effort. Another piece. What's wrong with this one? It's got a great big knot there, and that's totally useless. It's also very old, it's got so dry and the bark's cracked. So unfortunately, firewood. Pity, it's got some really nice sapwood, nice 1/4 inch thick sap, nice, just what you're looking for. The heartwood looks to be good as well. So it's a pity that knot is there, making it virtually unusable. Could be okay for wood turning. Wood turners make some brilliant stuff out of yew. So that's no good. So we've looked at those two. What have we got here? That's another piece. Now that one is probably okay. Again, a nice layer of sapwood, nice thin sap. Heartwood looks good. Fairly tight grain, which is great because that gives you that extra spring. Turning it round, let's have a look at the back. Bark, that will come off easily. Doesn't seem to be any problems. It's a little bit concave there, but we can probably work that out. Couple of little lumps there, but that will be, it's all part of the character of the bow. That's not a problem at all, neither is that. So potentially that's quite a good piece and will make a good bow. What else have we got? That one, that's a piece from Oregon. Those previous ones were English yew. This is Oregon yew. Again, probably make a lady's bow. It's reasonably short. Here it starts to slope across to one side, so when we make it we're going to have to take more wood off here to try and balance that out, so we will lose some of the sapwood. So pity about that, otherwise it would have been perfect, but we can get a bow out of that. Here's one I've been working on, probably working on that when we were doing a demonstration somewhere because it's just been sitting around. The sapwood was quite thick, so you can probably see I've made a pencil line down there to reduce the sapwood to a reasonable thickness. Sapwood is not as strong as the heartwood, so you don't want too much of it. So we're taking that down. The heartwood, a couple of little cracks in there, that will probably disappear when we work through it. Not there, that will go because we get rid of that. There's another knot there, that will disappear when we work on it. If there is a knot when we've got it down to near bow size, if there is a knot, a dead knot, we would normally drill it out and put in a plug of yew, a Dutchman's plug generally called, and that works. That keeps it. So that's potentially a good bow in that one. This one here, again, that way looks very thick sap. If we turn it round, it doesn't look quite so bad. Some cracks in here, but again, that will go when we reduce it down to bow size. Heartwood looks quite good. Again, sapwood's okay. We've got a couple of little pieces where we had little twiggy growths coming out, but that will smooth over on the back, shouldn't be a problem. That, I don't know what that is, but I don't think that's anything to worry about. That will smooth out. So again, another good bow in that one, potentially. What's that? That's similar piece really. It's got a knot there, dead knot. That will probably disappear because that will be not quite as wide as that, so hopefully that one will disappear when we're working on it. So those are all full-length staves. Nice if you're making medieval bows, and nice if you can get hold of the material. A lot of times you can get short lengths like this, 3'6" long. You need to joint it in the handle to give you a full 6-foot bow. This is a piece of Oregon yew, again nice sapwood. Unfortunately it's quite old. There's a couple of wormholes in it, which when I've removed all the bark, those worms might have travelled along the sapwood. They tend to like the sapwood but will not touch the heartwood. So if worst comes to the worst, I will plane off the sapwood and back it then with bamboo, hickory, whatever. You could even back it with sapwood if you had some good sapwood from another piece of yew. So again, good bow in that one. That is also Oregon yew, and at one time we were buying in yew from a supplier in America. Some of it was very good, some of it was basically firewood, and it made it expensive. I mean, this piece, you've got a great big knot there, you've got a huge dip here. It's not got a very good colour to it, and there's lots of little flaws in there, and that huge sweep there, which alright gives the bow character, but you've got a lot of work to do to get it bending evenly and tiller evenly. So we put that one aside. It's going to be a lot of work to make a bow out of that, and I may never get round to it. Someone else can have a go probably. A couple of little marks there, I don't know what that is. Yeah, say sometimes we have found lead shot and things inside pieces of yew where people have been out hunting and with a shotgun or something hit the tree instead of whatever they were shooting at. So that's that one. I think the last ones we've got there is again Oregon yew, which I've split down ready to work on, and as you can see this has got quite a good almost a recurve on the end, so that could make a very interesting bow. Very, very tight grain, nice even sapwood. Say that sort of recurve on it is going to make it a bit more difficult tillering, and hopefully those two pieces are okay. I noticed a couple of wormholes on that other piece there. Otherwise could be a good bow. Now any piece of wood you're looking at, the same principles apply. You want something that doesn't have knots in it, reasonably straight grain if you can get it, not twisted. This is a piece of lemon wood which generally is very straight grained, but this one does have some tiny little pins in it. So when we make a bow, if we were to make a bow using this, we would leave an extra little bit of wood around it, as you would with a yew bow. If you have a little pin or a very small knot, that's a very tight knot, you would leave a little lump around it to support that, to stop it crystalling, which is the structure, the belly of the wood compressing in on itself. If it was really bad, we would cut out a bloom, a big scoop, and put in a good piece of wood, glue that in to cover over, or to remove really the bad bit, and replace it with a good piece of wood. And you can do that with yew, and it's a tried and tested method of working on it, and it works well. So if you're looking for wood, find the best you can. Not always easy with yew, but if you want a good bow, then do take some trouble in finding a decent piece of wood. Don't forget, if it's fresh wood, freshly cut, you do need to put it away for at least a couple of years, 3 or 4 years if you can. Now, it's frustrating waiting for it to season, but if you don't, yeah, it'll make a bow, but it won't perform very well, and it will just bend and it stay bent. And it will make a bow if that's what you want to do, but if you want a bow that performs, make sure you leave it to season. Hope that's been of interest.